Hi everybody. I'm going to go ahead and do an update of Liam from birth to 6 months, or roughly about 6 months. I am going to use my baby book for some assistance, and Liam is sitting right next to me now, so if I'm over here, I'm just messing with him. Let's see. Okay, Liam was born on February 18th of 2010. I went into labor with him actually on the 16th or 17th, I guess. Technically it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. My water broke, and I went to the hospital, and so it was technically the 17th. I went to the hospital and I was in labor with him all that whole entire day. I finally got 10 centimeters. They had me pushing for about 2 hours, and she said that he wasn't coming out. His head was stuck in my pelvic area, so we had to do a C-section. Anyway, he was born the 18th of February. We did name him after his dad, his grandpa, and his great-grandpa. All on my husband's side. They are all William, and either, I think his great-grandpa's middle name was Eugene. His grandpa and his dad's middle name is Ernest. I had no choice. He had to have the middle name Ernest. But we call him Liam. I got it actually from a baby book that it is a form of William, and it's the last 4 letters of William. So that's how Liam came about, if anybody is wanting to know, because it's kind of weird. You don't really hear it. You hear Bill or Will, and my husband actually goes by BJ for Bill Jr. So anyway, let me get into at his birth, he was 7 pounds 15 ounces, and he was 21 inches long. He did have a full head of hair, or a pretty good full head of hair, and it was darker. It has now lightened up to a blonde, dirty blonde, I guess, not really blonde, and hold on one second, I'm sorry, this is not very organized, but let's see. His first month milestones, and I'm just going to go with how my baby book is, because then it's just a little bit easier. His height at that time was 23 inches. His weight was 11 pounds 9 ounces. His sleeping patterns, he slept about 3 hours at night before he went and fed again, and he would occasionally, sleep 5 to 6 hours in between feedings. About a month and a half, he really slept through the night, which, thank God, because I was exhausted by that point. I was really the only one getting up with him because my husband worked and I didn't, so I just got up with him. It was no big deal. I was exhausted though, but that's what comes with having a child, I guess. He ate about 5 ounces every 2 to 3 hours at a month old. He was on Similac Advanced, I think, until he was about a month. At that month appointment, we did switch him because of fussiness and gas. He had a lot of gas, so we switched him to the Isomil, some like Isomil soy. And he's been on that ever since. We haven't changed him off of it. His new discoveries at that point, he liked looking at the ceiling fans and the stuff on the wall, especially if they were dark and light colors. At that point, he really didn't see that far, except for those colors, which he loved. Loved. Teacher bugger. His accomplishments at that point, he would try to lift his head up when he would lay on his belly, which would be very hard for me to get him to do. He hated being on his belly. Tummy time was a chore, big time. He would cry, scream, cry. Let's see, his baby babbles that month. He would try cooing at us, and he would also smile at us a lot at that point. I think that's about the time I caught his first smile on camera. And this is, hold on, I get you guys to see it. That is his picture at month old. At 2 months old, he was 24.5 inches long, 14 pounds. His sleeping patterns is, he was sleeping through the night anywhere from 5 to 8 hours straight. He would have some longer, but for the most part, he was really good at that point. He was eating 5 to 6 ounces about every 3 hours during the day unless he was taking a nap. Then he would go longer. He was still on formula. His new discoveries was that he had a tongue and he would play with it all the time. He was still working on lifting his head up, but he did really good when we would hold him. He would keep his head pretty steady at 2 months. And he would love to coo. That was his baby babbles. Let me show you my picture at 2 months old. There's that one. Those keep good. And sorry, my hair is kind of a mess today. Didn't do anything to it. It was pulled up out of my face. 3 months old, he was 25 inches long. He was 16 pounds. He slept through the night. Still at that point, he would go to bed between 10 and 12. Sleep till about 8. His time would vary, just depending on what he did all day. Sometimes he would go to bed earlier if he was wore out. Other times, he would go to bed when he wanted to. He was eating 5 ounces still, about every 2 hours. Baby babbles, he was still cooing. And this is his 3-month picture. Excuse you. Got that burp out, didn't ya? At 4 months old, he was 26 3/4 inches long. He was 17 pounds 9 ounces. He slept through the night. He would go to bed about 10, sleep till about 8 or 10 the next day. He was eating about 2 to 3 hours apart, 5 to 6 ounces, and at lunchtime and bedtime we would do cereal. We did try bananas at 4 months. He would, his new discoveries, he would start playing with his hands a lot more. Accomplishments, he can hold his head up without us helping him at 4 months. And he would sit up good when we held him, just not by himself. He would start making mama, baba, dada sounds, but not a definite sound yet. I do not have a picture for 4 months yet. I need to get that one developed. Are you okay? But he's content. At 5 months old, I do not have a height or weight because I didn't go to the doctor or anything, and I just didn't get that one. So, sleeping patterns, he would go to bed about 11 o'clock, and he would at least sleep until 7:30, sometimes later. He really didn't get on a good sleeping schedule until 6 months, really. I mean, he did sleep through the night, can't complain. He just now, at this point, sleeps good, and I know when he's going to go to bed and when he's going to get up. And he really doesn't get up that much at night either. Just depending on his day, too. I know. He's starting to eat about 3 to 4 hours and 7 ounces of formula now, and we have started solids at 5 months. At least once a day, and our doctor did tell us, our pediatrician did tell us we could start at 5 months. If she would have told me no, I wouldn't have done it. So, and he liked them. He did very good with them. We did start out with vegetables first and the same colors, and then went to fruit. Now he's on it. Whatever. He eats whatever we give him. He likes peas. Doesn't really care for green beans. Loves squash, sweet potatoes. Not so keen on carrots. Doesn't really care about bananas. He likes his pears. And his applesauce. Loves applesauce. Let's see. His discoveries at that point, he would look at himself in the mirror and laugh at himself or smile. And at 5 months he was playing with his toys more, and he would grab for what he wanted, not just what we handed him. He would actually reach over and grab it. And at 5 months old, exactly at 5 months old, he was sitting up. I sat him down, and right away he was sitting up. So excited. The little milestones get ya. They're nice. It makes everything worth it, really. Yeah. Baby babbles this month. He really did start making sounds that actually had the sound of Dada, Mama, Baba, and he shakes his head no at that point. And he still does it. Okay. And at 6 months, before I run out of time here, he was 28.5 inches long, 20 pounds, 5 ounces. He's sleeping through the night. He goes to bed between 9:30 and 11, and usually is up by 10. He might get up at 7 or 8. I feed him, and he goes back to sleep, and he'll sleep till about 10. He eats 7 ounces, 3 to 4 hours apart. He eats baby food for lunch and dinner. We've tried pretty much all the foods. I told you what he liked and what he didn't. At 6 months old, when he would go to new places, he would seriously take it in. He would look around, try to get into anything and everything that was there, which he still does. He sits up by himself now, completely, really no help, doesn't really fall. Only if he's reaching for something does he fall. And he's really getting a lot better now with it, or he catches himself, which I know is something he had to learn. And now he's playing with the dog. He loves the dogs. Even though they're huge, he loves them. And he did say Dada officially in August. Go. At 6 months, or a little bit before 6 months. And he now, by 7 months, says Baba all the time. So, I think that's about it. With his shots, he did good. Every single one of his shots that he did, he had no reaction to him or anything, which was good, and I hope it stays that way. He did get his 2 bottom teeth in at 4 months and 5 months. His right lower he got at 4 months, and his left was a month after that. And I think he's working on his top teeth now, because he's been cranky and chewing on everything. So, all in all, I think that is it. If I do think of anything else, I'll try to add that in on his 7th month update, which he will be 7 months on Saturday. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. And hopefully you guys are enjoying these. And I'll try to show Liam to you real quick here, even though he's been up and down. Let me close that and get that out of the way. And say hi to everybody. Look, say hi. Hi. You gonna smile? Hi. Hi. We're working on waving, so Sai, go. Sorry if his tongue was just in the way. He likes being center of attention too. Okay. Bye everybody.